So what's going to happen is it's currently 7:20 and holy Ashty, yes! I love the band 1975.
Really? Let's save it tomorrow, shall we?
Meanwhile, I've ordered curry and they're already like 45 minutes late, but I'm also not a Karen because I'm a Ren. So, so I'm probably going to pause halfway through this to eat curry because that's who I am as a human. I have a list of my top 10 senpais. As I was like making this list of my favorite senpai, it kind of made me sad. And I'm not sure if it's like this for older anime fans, but I started watching anime when I was 13 years old and I was quite young. I remember saying to one of my friends back when I was like 15, because I had a huge hell of a crush on Tamaki from Oran High School Host Club. I was like, there's gonna be a day when I'm older than him, and she's like, duh. So here I am, an elderly woman, an elderly weeb. Can we say veteran weeb? I like the term veteran weeb. Veteran weeb. So I'm not sure if many of you have heard the anime Full Moon Osaka Shite. If not, I recommend reading it because the art is absolutely gorgeous. It's by Arina Tanemura, and there is a 52 episode anime to it, and that's back when like anime studios were doing very long ass anime. Takuto was like my first anime crush. He is a Shinigami, which is technically a death god. My curry came! That curry was more spicy than I expected it to be. Now, he is a Shinigami, which in Japanese culture, I'll just like touch the surface levels, but it's like a death god. So he comes from the pediatric ward. In the pediatric ward of this world anime, the Shinigami are represented by they're represented by animals, because what child doesn't want to see a cute animal when they're about to get, you know, like teleported by the Grim Reaper? He's trying to go against all fate, a god, to make sure that Mitsuki, the female lead, survives. Mitsuki was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer at the age of 12, so like it's a really deep story. Senpai number 2. Tamaki from Oran High School Host Club. Now, if you guys watched my last video, you will note that if I had to be a male character, it would be Tamaki. Tamaki as the character is really like charismatic. He's a bit arrogant in a naive way. Like he's definitely not a, but like this friendly and admirable mask that he wears is meant to protect his friends and his family around him. He actually had a difficult childhood because his father's an asshole. He's just constantly smiling and constantly fighting so hard to please others. Not that that's like healthy or good. He puts others before himself, and he's a pitiful character, but he's also a very strong character. He is the ultimate senpai, guys. Like, he is the OG senpai. He's not the OG senpai, but in everything that I've seen, he kind of is the OG senpai just because that's his role. Like, it's not a great anime and it's not a great manga. It's a very good otome game because it's music oriented and I like music, hey. But like the main girl calls him senpai. He's actively mentoring her in music and helping her advance, and he guides his kohai in the realm of music. He's the senpai, and the sad thing is that he notices his kohai, but the kohai doesn't notice him. Number 3. Kami-sama Hajimemashite is another like Shinto-esque influenced anime. It's Great in the sense that it like touches the surface area if you're curious about Japanese mythology. I mean, that and Fruits Basket, which I'll eventually get to, is really great for that. Komoi is a yokai, so he's a fox demon, and he's also only a senpai because he has to be a senpai. You see, he's technically also the familiar to a human who was blessed with a god who couldn't ask to be a god anymore. So it's like, hey, you humanly creature, you're gonna be god now. He, at the beginning, only protects his god because he's sworn to. He really tries to fight it, but you know, when you're sworn to protect someone, you got Kyo from Fruits Basket. Fun fact, I've cosplayed Kyo. I've also cosplayed Tamaki. But maybe those are pictures and reveals for future videos. I just love my senpai so much that I want to become them. Kyo's like not exactly a tsundere character, but he's kind of a tsundere character. He just has a really shitty childhood, okay guys? But basically, he was rejected by his whole family growing up, and he's really not a bad character. He's very emotional. He's very friendly, but I think when like so many people beat down on you and tell you that you can't become something or you can't do something, you kind of just like give up. I wouldn't say that he's a senpai, like in the means of a senpai. Not all senpais are perfect, and sometimes senpais have to learn from their kohai. I don't even know why I put this on here because he's actually like a scumbag. His name is Akira and he is from the otome game called Nil Admirari, and that's Latin for something that I cannot remember. But there's also a 12 episode anime to it. Like, the anime is shit. The anime isn't great. Like, I don't recommend going out actively to watch it. But if you can speak Japanese, read Japanese, then I recommend playing the game because it is dark AF. Like, how many times have you, like, seen a female lead accidentally stab the love of their life? Anyways, he's not a good senpai. He's not the senpai that you want. He's not the senpai that you need. Again, I don't know why I put him on this list, but he is beautiful. He's just absolutely gorgeous. Don't judge books by their cover. And this is a game about books that possess humans to commit atrocities and hurt themselves. He just, like, shouldn't be a senpai, but, you know, sometimes we don't make the best decisions in life, do we? Yato is a god. I feel like I have like what's it called? A sequence. Sometimes I cannot English. Like, it sounds like I'm like super into gods or quirky senpais. God senpais, quirky senpais. Sounds like a complex. Yato's a god, but he's like on the lower end of a god in the anime and manga called Noragami. Like, he's not a perfect god, and that's what part of his character arc is, that he's fighting to become an amazing god just so he can protect the ones around him that he cares about. His familiar, Yukine, which is like a younger brother to him, is a ghost that doesn't remember his life or anything, but as a god, he's just like protecting him. He forms like this own family. It's super sweet. He's a selfless senpai. Otani. So like, he's not a great senpai, but he has a kohai that really wants him to notice him. The main reason that I absolutely love Lovely Complex is that it actually takes like place in Osaka, and Osaka dialect is because I lived in Osaka, that's where I studied high school. In Japan was in Osaka, and I love the dialect. That's the dialect that I speak. I like speak standard Japanese nowadays, but some things just don't change. He's like shorter than average, but he's just like a typical high school senpai. There's nothing really special about him other than, to me, he speaks Osaka dialect. And I lied to all of you guys because I couldn't justify having a 9th or 10th senpai because senpai are really important. And then you may be asking, why did you add that one senpai that you absolutely hate into the list? And I don't know. Anyways, if you haven't, which you obviously haven't because we don't have many subscribers right now, subscribe, like, spam you to the moon and back.